I hope you're all okay. I hope you're having a lovely day. I think, if I'm right, Gabriel's at a holiday club today, so I hope that went well, Gabriel. And I'm not sure what the McCaulays are up to. I saw that you had a lovely day yesterday in the park with Pat and Sarah and Felicity. And I just saw Annie's message saying, good afternoon. And I thought, I know, this afternoon's a good time to carry on with our story. I'm heading out in a minute, but I thought I'd do a quick little chapter. Now, if you remember what's happened recently, Edward was hung up like a scarecrow, wasn't he? And the lady called him Clyde, and he was being pecked by the crows, and he was feeling quite low, quite depressed, really. And he'd sort of given up, hadn't he? He just wasn't bothered anymore. And then Bryce found him and took him home to Sarah Ruth. And Sarah Ruth, who's quite poorly and has quite a bad cough, decided to call him Jangles, and Bryce made Edward dance. And Sarah Ruth held him like a baby, and Edward had never been held like a baby, and cradled like that. And I think maybe he started to feel a little tingle of hope again, a little sort of thought of other people. So towards the end of the chapter it said, Bryce took out his harmonica and started to play, making his song keep rhythm with the rain. Is that right? So here we go. We're up to chapter 18. Wow. Okay. Bryce and Sarah Ruth had a father. Early the next morning, when the light was grey and uncertain, Sarah Ruth was sitting up in bed, coughing, and the father came home. He picked Edward up by one of his ears and said, I ain't never... It's a baby doll, said Bryce. It don't look like no baby doll to me. Edward, hanging by one ear, was frightened. This, he was certain, was the man who crushed the heads of china dolls. Jangles, said Sarah Ruth between coughs. She held out her arms. He's hers, said Bryce. He belongs to her. The father dropped Edward on the bed, and Bryce picked up the rabbit and handed him to Sarah. It don't matter anyway, said the father. It don't make no difference, none of it. It does matter, said Bryce. Don't you sass me, said the father. He raised his hand and slapped Bryce across the mouth, and then he turned and left the house. You ain't gotten to worry about him, said Bryce to Edward. He ain't nothing but a bully, and besides, he don't hardly ever come home. Fortunately, the father did not come back that day. Bryce went out to work, and Sarah Ruth spent the day in bed, holding Edward in her lap and playing with a box filled with buttons. Pretty, she said to Edward, and she lined up the buttons on the bed and arranged them into different patterns. Sometimes, when a coughing fit was particularly bad, she squeezed Edward so tight he was afraid he would crack in two. Also, in between coughing fits, she took to sucking on one or other of Edward's ears. Normally, Edward would have found this intrusive, clingy behaviour very annoying. But there was something about Sarah Ruth. He wanted to take care of her. He wanted to protect her. He wanted to do more for her. At the end of the day, Bryce returned with a biscuit for Sarah Ruth and a ball of twine for Edward. Sarah Ruth held the biscuit in both hands and took small, tentative bites. I wonder why she takes such tiny bites, do you think? When you eat a biscuit, do you take tiny bites? And if you do, why do you do that? Or do you take big bites because you want to gobble it all up? Have a think about that one. You eat that all up, honey. Let me hold Jangles, said Bryce. Him and me got a surprise for you. Bryce took Edward off to the corner of the room, and with his pocket knife, he cut off lengths of twine and tied them to Edward's arms and feet, and then tied the twine to sticks of wood. What's he doing? What's he making Edward into? With strings on his arms and strings on his feet. A puppet. See, all day I've been thinking about it, Bryce said. What we're going to do to make you dance. Sarah Ruth loves dancing. Mama used to hold on to her and dance her around the room. You eating that biscuit? Bryce called out to Sarah Ruth. Uh-huh, said Sarah Ruth. You hold on, honey. We got a surprise for you. Bryce stood up. Close your eyes, he told her. He took Edward over to the bed and said, Okay, you can open them now. Sarah Ruth opened her eyes. Dance, Jangles, said Bryce. And then, moving the strings with the sticks with his one hand, Bryce made Edward dance and drop and sway. And the whole while, at the same time with his other hand, he held onto the harmonica and played a bright and lively tune. Sarah Ruth laughed. She laughed until she started to cough. And then Bryce laid Edward down and took Sarah Ruth in his lap and rocked her and rubbed her back. You want some fresh air? He asked her. Let's get you out of this nasty old air, huh? Bryce carried his sister outside. He left Edward lying on the bed, the rabbit staring up at the smoke-stained ceiling. Thought again about having wings. If he had had them, he thought, he would fly high above the world, to where the air was clear and sweet, and he would take Sarah Ruth with him. He would hold her in his arms. Surely, so high above the world, she would be able to breathe without coughing. After a minute, Bryce came back inside, still carrying Sarah Ruth. She wants you too, he said. Jangles, said Sarah Ruth, and she held out her arms. So Bryce held Sarah Ruth, and Sarah Ruth held Edward, and the three of them stood outside. Bryce said, You got to look for falling stars. Them are the ones with magic. They were quiet for a long time, all three of them, looking up at the sky. Sarah Ruth stopped coughing. Edward thought that maybe she had fallen asleep. There, she said, and she pointed to a star streaking through the night sky. Make a wish, honey, Bryce said, his voice high and tight. That's your star. You make a wish for anything you want. And even though it was Sarah Ruth's star, Edward wished on it too. I wonder what Edward wished for on Sarah Ruth's star. What would you wish for if you were Edward on that star? Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed the story, and let me know what you think about, first of all, about the biscuit. Why did she eat it so slowly, do you think? And also, let me know what you think about that star, that wish that Sarah Ruth made, and what wish do you think Edward made on Sarah Ruth's star? Okay, I love you all lots. Bye-bye.